Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the SmithofKitava, the third and final warrior ascendancy coming to Path of Exile on April 4th. If you're a fan of tanky builds or you just hate getting one shot, this ascendancy is going to catch your eye. It's heavily defensively focused, making it a dream for hardcore players and league starters alike. In this video, I'll break down all its notables, highlight some strong interactions, and wrap up with potential build archetypes you can try. So, let's hammer it out straight from the forge. The SmithofKitava is built around two core ideas: stacking fire resistance for massive defensive gains and crafting your own unique defensive bonuses. It's not here to dish out huge damage. Its offensive options are limited, but it more than makes up for it with some of the tankiest mechanics in the game. Whether you're smashing through early maps or surviving endgame chaos, this ascendancy has tools to keep you standing. The most significant and controversial aspect of this ascendancy is Masterwork. This passive skill is free to allocate and comes with a big restriction: you can only use a normal body armor. However, instead of relying on a unique or rare body armor, you get to customize your own with different bonuses. While this system is promising, I do have some concerns. It will likely synergize well with the rest of the character's kit. For example, one of the available bonuses is plus 5% maximum fire resistance, which fits perfectly into the warrior's defensive capabilities. However, sacrificing your body armor slot is a huge drawback. You'll have to rely on corrupted white body armors, which can still provide some additional benefits, such as increased movement speed, plus 3% maximum fire resistance, extra spirit, or additional maximum life. This flexibility allows you to swap out different corrupted armors depending on your situation. SmithofKitava offers a variety of defensive bonuses through body armor customization. Here are some of the key ones: plus 5% maximum fire resistance. A solid option, but since max fire resistance can be obtained elsewhere such as from jewels, it might not always be the best choice. 25% of physical damage taken as fire. This is a very strong mitigation tool, especially since armor isn't particularly effective in Path of Exile 2. 15% increased maximum life, comparable to the Titan notable but requires only 1 point. 5% life regeneration per second, a fantastic option for strong, stable sustain. 75% increased elemental resistances. Fire resistance is particularly useful since it synergizes well with the rest of the kit. 20% increased strength. Great for physical damage builds, unaffected by ignite. Situational, but not game-changing. Hits against you deal 50% reduced critical damage, a strong defensive layer that could make the character incredibly tanky. Armor applies to chaos damage taken from hits. This could be useful, but since armor isn't particularly strong in PoE 2, its effectiveness will depend on balance changes. Is Masterwork viable for endgame? Here's where things get tricky. While Masterwork is fantastic early on, it loses value in the late game. That's because many unique body armors provide significant offensive and defensive benefits that this ascendancy simply can't compete with. For example, Warrior Invictus, the most popular unique body armor last league. Now, the real meat of this ascendancy, its defensive notables. These are why people are buzzing about SmithofKitava. Cold Stoker, modifiers to fire resistance also grant cold and lightning resistance at 50% value. Example, plus 30% fire race will give extra plus 15% cold and plus 15% lightning. With PoE 2's minus 40% base resistance, stacking 115% fire race caps you at 75% and gives 57% to cold lightning, huge suffix pressure relief. One of the strongest nodes in the entire ascendancy is Forged in Flame. This passive makes modifiers to maximum fire resistance also grant maximum cold and lightning resistance, effectively boosting your survivability across the board. These make gearing a breeze. Slap on ruby rings or desert runes, and you're capped early. For life-based builds with 3 to 5k life, this level of elemental mitigation is bonkers. Now, let's take a look at the offensive side, though it's a bit slim pickings here. Heat of the Forge grants a fire spell on hit, a trigger skill that auto-casts a socketed fire spell when you hit an enemy. We don't know if it triggers on any hit or just weapon hits. In PoE 1, similar mechanics like the runesmithing enchantment only worked with weapon attacks, so it might lean that way here, limiting it to attack-based builds. For melee builds, socket flammability for utility or flame wall to boost molten blast projectiles. If you're feeling spicy, pair it with cast on ignite for a trigger-happy spell barrage. It's got potential, but we need more details. Against the Anvil grants temper weapon, a channeling skill where you buff your weapon at the forge, causing fiery explosions on your next few hits. You have to stop and channel it. Could be clunky in fast-paced combat. Its value depends on how often you need to refresh it and how big those explosions are. If it's a single-target powerhouse, it could shine with skills like Hammer of the Gods. Scaling cast speed might make channeling less painful, but the numbers need to be crazy high to compete. Living Weapon grants Manifest Weapon, summoning a copy of your equipped weapon as an animated minion, something similar Animate Weapon of Reflection. We don't know how many you can summon. It showed one in the footage, and scaling might be tricky. In PoE 1, similar skills relied on weapon damage, not gem levels, and the warrior tree lacks minion nodes. So we can use it as a utility minion for culling strike, exposure, or go all in on a minion build. It's a wild card, could be niche or a sleeper hit. So, how do you play this beast? Here are 3 ideas. Pure minion, max out living weapon with minion gear and jewels. It risky without tree support, but unique, so I'll try it for sure. Trigger spell, lean into Heat of the Forge with Molten Blast and Flame Wall for an auto-casting chaos. Tanky melee, use Coal Stoker Forged in Flame, pick against the Anvil for damage, and stack offense on gear tree. Most builds will grab Coal Stoker and Forged in Flame for 4 points, leaving for 1 offensive notable and some Masterwork picks, or skip Masterwork for a juicy body armor. The SmithofKitava is a defensive juggernaut. Its resistance scaling and max race potential make it a league start king and a hardcore favorite. Early on, you can grab a normal body armor, corrupt it, and immediately gain strong defensive bonuses like increased max life and regeneration. For the endgame, however, I have some doubts. The need for flexibility means Smith Masterwork may lose value over time. That said, Forged in Flame alone is enough to carry the ascendancy, making it a strong and durable choice for most of the game. What do you think? Hype for SmithofKitava on April 4th. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you going minion, melee, or something wild? If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more PoE goodness. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in reclass. Stay tanky out there.